Good afternoon. James Clay with KCI. Just made a quick video to kind of show you the overview of recap and how it works with our point clouds and how we use the point cloud to develop civil site and roadway surveys and things. If you did use 3D scanning, we would deliver a recap file to you. And when you opened up the recap folder, you would see this recap roadway example. And if you have an Autodesk subscription, you can get recap for free. It comes with your subscription. Not the pro version, but you don't have to have the pro version for anything I'm going to show you. I'm purposely not showing the pro version. So I'm hit OK, and it comes up and it says, hey, I've got to import these files. Well, really, it's already done because we're sending you it pre-processed. So if you go to post-process, go ahead and hit launch on there. And then in this case, it's a little intersection that we had surveyed. And you can see immediately captures everything, not just the roadway that you're used to, but power lines, power poles. If you need heights of utilities and any other data from it, you can extract it. You can use this free tool to make measurements and extract that data also. For us, this keeps us from having to go back and forth to the field. We can pick up the back of curb, the flow line, edge of pavement. We can pick the crowns up and everything just right in here just by picking on the asphalt and exporting that line work into Civil 3D for all the elevation and the vertical and the brake lines and things like that for the surface, and also use it for a drafting tool. There's lots of little tools in here that you kind of have to get used to. One, you can change the color and the intensity return values of the laser. Sometimes it helps you see things better. There's no photography with this one. A lot of times, or sometimes, sorry, we'll take photographs along with our point cloud scanning and merge the two together so that each one of the points will have an RGB value, and so it kind of looks like a photograph. But for us, when we're going to use the data locally, we don't do the photography. It slows our scanners way down, costs us a lot more time, but it also, there's no reason for it. If you can turn to the intensity values on, you can see the striping and the words and things like this. We don't really need the photography, so it's still very simple to use. Back to normal is a great color variation. Sometimes it just shows the normals, which way they're facing based off of the closest points, and you'll get sometimes you can pick out edges and things like that, and flat faces a lot easier with the normals picked on. One other thing, you'll see these mirror balls. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our black and white for a second. And if you click on a mirror ball, then you go to a 360 view. It's kind of a static view directly from our scanner setup. But it allows for a denser point cloud, so now you can start seeing edges of pavement, things like that. Even better if there were some cracks or something you were looking for specifics. And there's the power lines overhead. And these are black spots, or the noise of the cars and things that we're driving by, and we erase those out of this point cloud so that it won't affect us, and some artifacts like that you'll see. But here there are tools built in, and you can do some freehand measuring if you wanted specific. Oh, I'm in meters, by the way. Let me hit done and go ahead and go to the settings, and we can change this to feet. Okay, and then we can go back to measurements, and you can pick on distances, 11 feet there, and you can save those measurements. You can delete them. There's a layer system over here where you can turn off and on scan worlds and measurements and things, annotations that you make, markups. You can delete them if you want to. And when you can travel in between each one of our setups just by clicking that top right, and it shows a full overview of the site, and then double click on that and it'll take you to the next mirror ball, and you'll be able to look and measure from there. And again, you can see the data. This is not a photograph. This is our point cloud. So really this is just made up by thousands of points, or millions of points really. And they're all well below survey grade for the measuring devices that we use to capture this information. Click back on the 3D view, you're back to fly mode. And other things you can do, you can slice the cloud up if you wanted to see sections and things like that. One other coloring is if you do elevation view, you can select a new gradient if you like, and then choose the range and say I want the lowest point on, I'm curious what this intersection is doing with the grading. So that's the lowest point on that part, and I pick a little bit up this power pole. Maybe a little lower. Let's go to, I'm going to say 499, 501.5, and you can see immediately the colors represent the elevation changes, so you can see what's happening inside that intersection, and you can reduce that down to whatever grade that you'd like to show on the side, or add other colors that are important to you at a certain elevation, like a flood line or something. You can edit your current values, and you can put specific ones in that you're interested in, or reduce the whole cloud down. So, and change it to steps instead, so you can see the stepping bands, or go back to ramp and spectrum. So it just depends on what you're looking for, and you can save that change and then save your gradient that you like. And then we are back to different types of ways to view the lighting on the point cloud. Different densities. You can thicken up the cloud. If you can't see something, you can turn the cloud up and down with how thick the points show up. And still, while you're in this mode, and I'm going to go back to our regular color. Still, while you're in this mode, you can also measure in this mode. You had something specific that you needed about the height of that power pole, something. There are measuring tools. Well, I'll show you one. We can actually do ortho, so you can pick that power line and then straight down to the ground, so then you can get the actual distance to the ground. You got 29 feet ortho distance, so it's the actual clearance height there. So that's a benefit. There's a bunch of different types of tools where you can measure different things, surfaces and things. And then, like I was saying, the limit box, you can turn that on. Choose to edit the limit box, and this kind of shows you an overview of the site. But if we just wanted to see a cross section right down the middle of the road here, so we can figure out what's going on with that grade, we can make that as thin as we want to, confirm the change, and then go to that view. And now, and also I can change it over to orthographic view, so now we're looking straight on it. And I can turn off the mirror balls, because they kind of get in the way sometimes. And so now you can see exactly, if you saw something funny in the surface and you just weren't sure if it really wasn't there, well, you can go back to the point cloud and take a look and see that, you know, that section matches. And then also, if you wanted to export some of this cloud, you could export it out, bring it into Civil 3D, or you could bring the entire thing into Civil 3D and put it right up underneath your surface. So all those are possibilities. If you have any questions, though, don't hesitate to contact me. You can reach me at 470-286-1238. Again, that's James Clay with KCI. Thanks.